Hey there, and thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Klingman. Today in the cafe, I have music video director Eric DiCarlo answering the question, how do you make money in the music industry?
Welcome to Scenic of Paterson, New Jersey.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it's a gorgeous area. It's a gorgeous area. Actually, this warehouse is freaking gold.
Yeah, this room's cool. Alice Cooper filmed his music video here.
Yeah.
He's gracious enough to leave the set here, and you could kind of see around. There's light bulbs everywhere.
Stunning. I wonder how much this place costs to set up.
The light bulbs aren't that expensive, but the warehouse, no idea.
Yeah, because there's like, how many? Do you know how many rooms are here specifically?
Beats me. There's so many hidden corridors and rooms I've never been in, and rooms that they just built. And
Dang.
there's like 4 main buildings, but as the amount of rooms, I don't know. There's probably 5 to 20 in each one.
Holy crap, that's insane.
Yeah, I shoot a lot of my videos here.
Yeah. And I believe that. I know I've seen a lot of them from, as you were giving me a tour, I've seen a lot of them here. Just sick.
Yep,
You
I
have
love
a
it.
Very unique aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to have such incredible locations just at my disposal 24/7. I'll come in here at night sometimes and just like set up lighting setups and just look at things or take pictures.
So let me just move this. There we go. Do you have the ability to just like come in at any point and you can like set up something like, oh, I have this idea. This would look sweet in this room. So you come and you change it. Like 2 a.m. You get this wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, this would be such a cool idea. You can come in here and change it.
Yeah, so the weekends can be kind of rough in here. I can't always use some rooms because there'll be things going on. But during the week or when I shoot weeknights, it's usually pretty clean. I'll come and I'll set up locations and move things. I'll put a table here, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And it's a ghost town, during the week.
Amazing. That's amazing. Damn. So you have a really interesting career path. You started out as an actor.
I started off as a musician.
Okay, as a musician first. Okay, and then you went from there to being an actor, and now onto videography, right?
It went. I
did
did the
this
music
go?
thing. I was even teaching drums in high school. Then after the music thing, the band fell through. Dream died. I started acting on a professional level to fund my recording studio, actually. And then I went into recording bands, and then here I am now doing video.
Damn.
Ton of stories in between, but that's
I'm
the
sure.
gist.
So was there, which one do you think helped your progression to where you are now the most? Would it be like the recording studio because you got to deal with a lot of like the sounds of what different bands are looking for and kind of visualize that aesthetic? Or would it be the acting because you get more of a camera angle for it?
It's hard to say that one necessarily helped me more than the others. I would say they all played an integral role in shaping who I am now. Like for a fact, doing music, like running a recording studio, taught me the business side more than anything. And I'm not really the best when it comes to business, but it gave me the backbone I needed to know, basic, get a deposit from a band. Otherwise, they're never going to show up. Like
Never going to show up. It's so
won't.
true.
I really learned my backbone from that, and I got the.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, people are gonna be walking around. It's a place that's fine.
I got my backbone really in working with bands, and I would say I did learn a lot about film working as an actor. I came across quite a few sets where I learned things. How's it going?
Howdy. How's it going?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, you're totally fine.
Yeah, we just set up right in the middle, so.
Yeah, exactly. Do what you got to do.
I closed the book.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, everyone here is so nice.
They seem so nice.
Yeah,
Everyone New Jersey, or we're talking here specifically?
Honestly, in general, Jersey's a really nice place. Like, I'm from New York, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
But in general, everyone's so supportive and such a good scene. Shout out to everybody. If anyone from Jersey sees this, I got your back just as much as you got mine. But going back a step, the recording bands really taught me how to work with bands and make a living and know what it's like to work your ass off for whatever, work towards something. The working as an actor definitely taught me what it was like to be on camera, what it was like to be in a professional environment. A lot of the terms that went around on set really stuck with me, rolling, like stuff like that. And then obviously being a musician, which is where it all started and where it will hopefully end someday, That taught me more than anything. That taught me the dream. That taught me what everyone is working their balls off for, why everyone is driving 5.5 hours to do the things that they want to do, why people sacrifice so much. And you actually have my shirt on.
Which I'm actually we're gonna run in that. So if y'all can read this, it is one of the coolest shirts I've ever gotten, and I'm so stoked to get it. So it says sacrifice for what you believe. I'm actually just gonna stand up so y'all can see it. Sacrifice for what you believe.
Shout out Square Up Apparel.
True that. This is such a intricate, such a beautiful design. Not intricate design, such a beautiful design and such an incredible message. I think so many people, and I've been like this for years. I was like this for years, but I think so many people, they have this idea like, oh, I want to do something. I want to be this person. So they try it, and the second they start to do it, and the second it starts to get hard, they're like, okay, well, never mind. Drop that dream, go on to the next thing. And are not willing to make that sacrifice, either because they don't think it's worth it or because they haven't developed that discipline. And I know this came from a very specific story you were telling me before. So what was the story that this came from?
I wouldn't cite one specific story, although there's one that I would definitely pops in my head. But it really is just a message towards the homies that are sleeping in the vans, that are working 40 hours a week at Domino's to just, give me their paycheck. Like I had one specific artist that he lived in a shed with his girlfriend, and I mean a shed, like the space. This is more space than he had, and he lived in a shed, just put all his money into the band, and just kept buying recording gear, only to later down the line get his band signed from recordings that he made in a shed.
Hell yeah!
And I think that's one of the most respectable stories of sacrifice I've ever personally witnessed. And yeah, I guess you could say the shirt's dedicated to him and a couple of the other homies.
Yeah, like hearing a story like that means so much, especially to so many people that are out there that are on the opposite. They're actually out there doing the grind, the opposite of what I said earlier, but who are actually out there doing that sacrifice day in, day out, giving up so much for what they love. It's a beautiful thing. And as an entrepreneur, I'm sure you've gone through and given up a ton for what you love to do.
First of all, thanks for calling me an entrepreneur.
100%, dude.
It's an interesting term. I never heard that, but thank you. Yeah, I mean, we live in an era where social media is really on top, and people are traveling the world and living all these glorious lives, and you see all these good things about people. But the heart of what I do and the music I personally listen to doesn't come from that beautiful things that you see on the front page of Instagram. And I think a lot of these darker things that people like to hear about and like to talk about are what I look for when I listen to music, and real pain, real sacrifice,
It's real. It's real. There's so much fake out there. There's so much fake shit. Everyone's posting, like you said, this ideal life and this perfect life that they have. And they're giving this image, and it's all shit.
I see where you're coming from, but it's just hard to describe what it's like to live in a shed with your girlfriend.
Exactly.
Because you have a dream.
Exactly. That's a totally different mindset. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that inspired one of the shirts there. Right now in the first series that I launched, there's 4 other shirts.
Okay, hell yeah.
And they all have little sub stories as well. And I have a couple more coming out soon, depending when this comes out. But
okay,
they all have little mini stories about starting families, things like that, crazy stuff.
Wow. What's one of your favorite shirts?
Probably the one that I gave you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
That one, I would like people to know that message. And there's a couple of people that know that I printed that for them, and it's just it's cool to have that get out there.
100%. I mean, this is a message that I so firmly believe. If you have a passion, if you have that drive, that is what makes us human. That is what makes us unique. And to pursue that with everything that you have it's such a huge part of who I am. It's go big or go home no matter what.
And that's something that I have to show people through video. That's what I look for in an artist. And that's a prime example of something that would inspire me from someone who brought a song to me.
Yeah.
And it's not always necessarily easy to show that, but that's my job for you. Like trying to find what people have to offer, what they're sacrificing for, what their dream is, where everything came from, the pain they felt in a certain regard, or the opposite, or the happiness they might have felt. But I more so get the people on the pain side.
Yeah, I know your music videos are very intense. It's a very specific aesthetic because it's tailored to a specific genre. Which was that intentional? Because was that intentional? I'll just start there.
For my productions, I don't personally take the genre. Like, I don't listen to a song and go, this is the genre. I look for the message and the colors and the emotions. A lot of times I'll have like a happy sounding song, a very majory happy song, and it'll look very dark. So I don't really necessarily go by genre. But on a personal side, when it comes to music, what I listen to just straight up just guttural shit. Just deathcore, slam, heavy metalcore.
Oh yeah.
Thug rap, like what? I don't know.
Oh, that's a thing.
Nah, I'm just making.
Okay, I was like, damn.
I recently found just like a whole playlist of just really just ghetto rap, and I just love it. I'm just like listening. I'm eating it up alive.
That's hilarious.
And I love rap videos. I rarely get them, but I love them. And people are like, oh, you work with deathcore bands? Like, you don't want to work with a rapper. Yes, I do, because rap a lot of the times has some very similar messages to metal.
So it's more about, for you, it's more about the message, less about the aesthetic, less about what...
It's less sonic. It's not necessarily about like the genre. It's like what I can do with the genre. Like I could shoot the exact same. I could shoot a metal video and then put a rap song over it, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
Because the camera's shaky, the colors are aggressive, people are moving a lot, really intense visuals. Like a lot of it matches up, and that's kind of what I've always pushed towards. But I have a very big, I have a big niche. I would say. Like I wouldn't say I do it all, but I have a very more often than not, even the rock guys I work with used to be in a metalcore band or show up with like a Slipknot shirt or something. Or, like it's very common that they do come from a metal background, but they might be playing something soft, ambient, shoegazy, whatever. But we all come from the same place.
I was going to say, I come from a metal background, and dude, I dig that shoegazy shit.
Yep, it gets everybody. Do I listen to it personally? No. Do I get it and do I like it?
Yeah.
Will I play with the reverb pedal for 2 hours when I'm drinking? Yeah,
100%. Right? I think we actually both totally agree on this. It's about the feeling, and it's about that message and being authentic in what you play, whatever that
Authenticity is a pretty powerful word, throwing that out there, because that's what I look for. I try to find what I think is real in a band, and that's what I try to convey.
So what does authenticity mean to you?
It just goes back to the fake thing. It's just like not what you think people want to see. It's really just who you are. It could be one section of a song that's just like that's it. Like that's the part that hits, and that'll inspire like a whole visual just from like maybe one small section, one line, one anything. And it's just what's real, like what it is about that artist that really cuts. Like I'm not going to take like a band that just shreds and not show guitar and not show tights on the
100%. Oh yeah.
Because to a lot of these bands, they might be more of a musical band, or they might be a more vocal driven band, and I might really put the vocals in the forefront, or they might have a drummer that's sitting there just gravity blasting. And of course I'm going to show him I'm a drummer. You're a drummer.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. If you got chops, we got to show you.
And I work with a lot of good drummers, to say the least. Like if you look at my videos, I'm so grateful for the drummers that I work with, man. They probably live to a click track.
Oh, that's funny. I know there was this one time I moved to Texas to join this band, and I think for a couple weeks straight, I was just getting used to playing in a whole different realm and headspace, because it's a very different genre than I was used to. I literally fell asleep listening to a click track, because I'm like, I need to get this very unique feeling down, and I need to know what it feels like, get this click track engaged in my mind, because we'd play without a click. Because they would ebb and flow, and it worked well with the style. It's like a country folk type of thing. Which is weird because I was a metal guy. But so I literally listened to a click so much that I could get it ingrained in me, so that when we played, I was able to ebb and flow a little bit and still keep it relatively tight. And like, you got to make those sacrifices. Like this shirt says, if that's what you love, you got to make those sacrifices.
Definitely agree.
Yeah. So what is one of your favorite things about being a videographer? Because it's a very like really artsy career, and so it's really different. No, I don't think a lot of people understand like what goes into it.
I think my favorite part about being a music video director is just the experiences and the people that that I meet along the way. Like, I definitely see people in a way that the average person never would. I definitely have been in situations.
What do you mean by that?
You're spending a lot of time with people. I'm not sitting there scrolling their Facebook profile. Like, I'm actually, sitting in very questionable settings, destroyed locations, flamethrowers, getting kicked out of place. I've seen everything, to say the least.
100%.
And you're seeing people in a different way, and that brings people close. When you think this is a story from early on in my career, but when you think you're going to have to bring a guitar player to the hospital because they're freezing to death, it's like you get a good drinking story for the next party.
It's true. You probably get to see a lot of people's true colors too.
Yes, true colors is a very, very good way to put it. And good and bad, I love it all. I think that's my favorite part about being a music video director.
Music video director. Okay, not videographer. Got you.
Yeah, when I think of a videographer, I think of some guy with like a camcorder just like you have,
right,
walking around at a wedding. Like.
Fair enough. Exactly, because you do all of the cool music videos. So do you think that being an actor, how do I want to do this? Do you think that being an actor helped your ability to have this and see this like genuine connection in people and create that? Do you think it hindered that? Do you think it didn't play anything?
I think my background in acting taught me like what a professional set would look like. Something like I would have maybe 5 to 10 times or even 20 times the budget of what I have.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to really work towards to make my sets feel like that, but in the metal world, because obviously metal bands aren't going to get that movie Paramount special. I work my balls off to try to bring elements from the film world that I saw to these local bands and bands that would never in a million years see that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like I roll up to like a $100,000 house, like a smaller house in the ghetto with $70,000 worth of gear.
Yeah.
Because I just want to have this camera. Now I'm trying to bring something new to a community where it just never existed. It's just there was such a gap. It was like a lot of the lower bands, this is years ago. Yeah. They would have music videos, but they were really bad. They were like 240p.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
And then the bigger bands, they had 30, 50, 70, 80, $90,000 music video budgets. They had red cameras which is what I shoot on if you didn't know.
Oh, no way, I didn't.
And they had all these big lights and all these things that the local bands really couldn't have. And now we're in a changing of times. And I feel like we are able to bring so much more quality to a community that never saw that. And I think it's really bridging the gap. It's making a real gray area in the middle between local bands and big bands, signed bands. Yeah. The smaller bands are blowing up and bigger bands are not really getting with the times as much. So there's like a big gray area now. And I feel like I'm a part of that.
For real. So what do you think that big bands can do to get more with the times? Because there is a lot more of a gray area that you're saying. I never really thought about that, but you're right. There is less of a distinction. There's a lot more of a continuum. And so what do you think that bigger bands could do to distinguish themselves more? Or what do you think that smaller bands could do to make them stand out?
I'll start with the bigger bands one, because that's, I think, a weird perspective.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands are still stuck in the old ways where, they would just cut a record, do a music video on film, and then suddenly they'd be getting tons of money. So there's a lot of bands that are really fizzling out because they're not paying attention to social media. They're not interacting with their fans. They're not really even looking their fans in the eyes. Yeah. And because of that, they're getting washed out. They're not updating their sound. But then there's bands that are putting out tons of content, interactive experiences, and they're making more than these big bands were before, because they're taking pictures and giving fanny packs to their fans in a meet and greet and just hanging out. There's just different ways that the bigger bands can be more a part of the community and be closer to their fans. And on the other side, local bands now have access to more content, higher quality recordings, better video. Even if you don't have somebody like me, there's still some guy in your town that kind of knows what he's doing that'll do a sick video for a couple $100. Yeah. It's just you're able to create things and get yourself on the board on the internet where you're rolling a dice and you could just blow up any day, assuming you have good recordings, your image is in order, no one in your band is crazy.
That's the big one, I swear.
That's a very subjective one, especially in certain genres. But
no kidding,
low key, doing things right and a good demeanor, not throwing mic stands at their fans, whatever. I love falling in reverse though. Don't tell anybody.
That's hilarious. No, good friends of mine. Shout out to Bad Move out there, up in Maine, Portland, Maine. One of their lead singer is going to jail for like the next 3 or 4 months, and so they're actually creating shirts that say like "Free Ellis," and gonna have him and his mugshot, and they're totally they're like.
What did he do?
I believe he lit a bunch of porta potties on fire. Many years ago, and a couple other stuff. But he's getting.
Don't do that. Just focus on making good content. And no porta potties on fire. Just try to make some good videos, good strategy. Throw a party, release party, whatever, to get people hyped, and just really listen to the feedback from your fans. Don't ignore it, and just keep creating.
Yeah, I mean that's how you can really find the value in what you're doing, is by listening to that feedback and seeing, okay, what did my fans actually like? What is just blowing smoke up their ass and making me feel better, or what do they actually like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely paying attention to what people say is very important. I would agree to that. And there's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be people that like your work, don't like your work, whatever. But it's important to listen to them, not necessarily take it personally.
Yeah.
But to listen to them and just focus on what you can do better. And sometimes people just might be like straight up wrong, and just might be somebody that decided to come to your profile and just tell you suck. Like
100% always gonna happen.
But it's important to listen to the guy that says you suck. And it's just like, oh, he had a bad day. I gotta acknowledge that 1% of my fan base is going to have a bad day. They're going to stub their toe before clicking on Facebook. They're going to forget their password. They won't be able to log on Facebook, and they're going to be pissed off before even listening or watching my video, whatever it is. And you just can't take that type of stuff personally as an artist, especially working towards a big goal and creating content and just trying to do a lot of little things that make your career better. And I think that's the foundation of video as well. It's not necessarily like you buy one camera and then suddenly, whoa, everything's amazing. It's just a lot of micro wins. It's a lot of little things that stack into a pyramid of just something really sweet,
Yeah. So I was actually going to ask you about that, because I mean, back in the day, not back in the day, actually, it's very present now. So many people are claiming like, oh yeah, I'm this videographer because I have an iPhone. And I'm sure you encounter this a lot. And people typically go one of two ways. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm this great videographer. I can shoot a video for you, $200, and show up with like an iPhone and maybe like a camcorder that I brought today. And then there's people who, and like their videos are crap. And then there's people who are like, oh, I want to become a videographer. So then they go out and they spend $1,000, get all this really good equipment. They shoot one video and it's crap because they have no experience. So then like, oh, I need to go buy more equipment to make this video better. I need better editing software. I need all of these other things. And they're missing the whole point of just actually going out and doing it. And so have you experienced a lot of...
Yeah, there's a lot of people that really... So I had a strong advantage over a lot of, I guess you would say, video guys, because instead of going to school, instead of doing anything, I was working in the music industry already. I was recording bands, and I saved for 2 years. I made an initial investment that was about $5,000, which is a lot of money, especially for me at that time.
Yeah.
Was a lot of money. But 2 years of saving,
yeah,
don't drink. It's like one cup of coffee, wherever that is.
Yeah, right. I just finished it.
It's up over X amount of time.
Yeah.
I made that $5,000 investment. I got a Sony A7S used.
Ooh, okay.
Very old camera now. I actually still highly recommend it. It's like $400 now, but that's what I started off on.
Yeah.
A little over 4 years ago. I've been doing video for 4 years ago in July.
Dang.
So it's
Congrats.
July, August, September. 4 years, 2 months. And thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made this initial investment. And instead of saying that I was like, oh yeah, I have this camera, like you got to work with me, it's awesome. I went out and I shot all my friends' bands, and I charged them, so it was a serious thing, but not a lot. And I shot like some real big productions where I made some serious mistakes, and I learned a lot of very hard lessons in some extreme scenarios. Extreme.
Like what? Is there a direct story behind that?
They're all my homies. So
yeah,
all my early videos were pretty much like bands that I worked with or friends or people I still party with today, for the most part. When I first got started, like one of the classic stories everyone in New Jersey over here knows that there's a band called Monument of a Memory. I did a rain video for them. And we started shooting at like 9:30 at night. We wrapped like right before sundown because we thought we had to take the guitars to the hospital. We were all drenched. It was rain. It was just one of the most brutal things. I've done shoots, a band over here called A Boy Named John when I first got started, where we were like, let's just invite everybody we know to a video shoot.
Oh, that's a rough idea.
And just, like, I'm talking, there must have been like 80 kids in a small venue. Like, and you know, I learned things, and I was like, okay, maybe, you know, when I'm doing a giant shoot with a ton of people, maybe I need a couple people to help me out. Just, there's a lot of lessons that I learned very early on by doing it, as opposed to like going to school and like learning about it, researching it. I did a lot of videos, and I fucked up a lot of videos
100%
to learn the lessons, and then I used the money that I made to buy more gear because I fucked up my gear from being a noob, and I still fuck up to this day, and I'm still making mistakes, and I continue to grow from them. Yeah. And recently, I've actually been starting to like my work, which is, I think, pretty cool.
That's a great point. When you can hit that, as a drummer, it took me like, I think probably about 6 or 7 years before I'm like, okay, I can start actually liking the shit I'm playing. Like, my beat was actually pretty cool. As a videographer, like, or as a not videographer, as a music video director. Sorry.
You're good.
That's gonna be. I'm sure that's a thing too. That's got to be a really interesting thing.
Yeah, I hate most of my work, to be honest, and I try not to say that because it's like I'm a
totally
company, but I think a lot of my personal drive comes from the fact that I am looking at Taylor Swift music videos, and I'm just like trying not to compare myself to them because that's a very horrible thing to do. But
social media is so easy.
But I still watch these videos, and I have a vision of something so much greater, and I keep fighting towards it, and I keep moving. And you know, recently I put out some videos that I really, really like. I'm like, yes, got it, yes. A couple sick ones actually coming out pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to like my work, which is, I think, a little milestone in the little left of the 4-year mark. Made all the mistakes, and yeah, you just got to do it. Like, going back to the original point, you just have to. You can't just be like, buy a camera and think like your videos are going to be huge because you have a red camera. Like, I'm confident I could, if I gave you my red camera and it shoots in 5K, it's all this thing, I could probably beat you with the iPhone. Like,
I bet you could. I bet you could.
I could get my lighting out and I would beat you out with an iPhone. So it comes down to experience. And people tend to focus on the wrong things and miss the original motivations and reasons why you should do these type of things. And those are the things I personally focus on. Why do I want to do these things? Why do I want to help people? Why am I even in the music industry in the first place? I could have just went off, got, one of these big jobs with one of my close friends, but no, I could have stuck to acting. Why do you want to do these type of things? And that's a motivation that a lot of these new guys need to really look at. Like, why do you want to do this? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Basic stuff.
That's a whole big thing, especially like so many people have this idea, I have to go to college, or I have to, if I, it's funny, every single time I've mentioned that on the podcast, I got the same reaction.
Scam, dude.
It's funny. It is for the most part, unless you're into like the medical field or something.
No, vocational, like very specific.
Yeah. But they have these ideas like, I want to go off and if I want to do something, I have to professionally study it in order to do it. Where in reality, the world we live in now, you just have to start doing it. The one with the most, people don't care if you have a degree or not. What they care about is your results. And if you can produce better results than the guy with a degree, then you're hired.
Yeah, people don't care what camera I have. Yeah. People don't even know what camera I have.
No.
Like some people know Red because
Red's got a big name. But
it's got a very big, but people, they book based on your work and your past work, and that's really what they're looking for. They don't care if you went to school. Like, I don't think anyone's ever been like, I really like your videos. What school did you go to? Like,
that sounds ridiculous to say, but that goes through so many people's head when they want to start something like this. That's so interesting. Dang. Okay, sick. What is your favorite style to shoot? Like genre of music.
Oh, genre of music, yeah. There's a lot of different things that you can shoot, a lot of types of things. But I like really aggressive songs, very fast, like upbeat. I don't want to say metal. Like I really do like deathcore a lot in my personal time, but I like anything aggressive. So like a really edgy rapper. I love that type of stuff. Pop punk I actually really enjoy very much so. Never get it though. I only have a handful of bands. Ones You Forgot. Shout out Ones You Forgot. Only got a couple pop punk bands, but yeah, metal, metalcore, deathcore, slammy.
God, pretty much anything in that sort of area.
Anything aggressive, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be dark. I just I like being able to feel like I can move a lot. Like my style it's a very weird style because it's somewhere in the middle between like film rip-off, high quality lighting, and underground, edgy, cheap rap video. So
that's funny.
So it's very aggressive and there's a lot of camera movements, but at the same time, it's very high quality. So it doesn't look like what I would say in the audio world is overproduced. It doesn't look like I'm sitting on a movie set. It looks like wow, this is like a movie, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I actually sacrifice a lot from both sides doing that. Like I might not be as evil as it could look because there's a lot of detail and a lot of light, but at the same time, it might look really good and then not slightly take away. But as a whole, everything's still very crazy and aggressive.
Yeah.
And I like being able to do that. But obviously, if you get an emotional song and there's the B-roll, there's a really good storyline and a budget to actually do that, then I love that. Like
100%.
Like if that fits the emotion, a lot of times I don't really look at this like, oh, I wish I was shaking my camera. Like, no, it's just like, I just like aggressive messages, aggressive styles, aggressive.
And so this actually ties back into something we were talking about before we hit record, is in the genres that are very aggressive. Those are where some of the nicest people are. Some of the most genuine, authentic, great humans are in some of the like heaviest shit bands. And it's this really weird dynamic. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's like you'll meet a band like Cannibal Corpse, and they have a song like Hammer Smash Face, giant dudes writing straight up by the books death metal, and they like you'll see them going crazy. You'll hear about these crazy stories about people they know getting arrested and people in the band getting whatever. Long story short, heavier the band, nicer they are. Almost always a rule of thumb for me. These bands, they have an outlet to get out their energy, and because of that, they're grateful. They know that they're playing metal. They know that there's a chance that it could all disappear pretty quick for the most part, and they're very just happy for the opportunity to be able to express themselves in such an extreme way and show off a talent that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. So the metal world and metal fans can be some of the most loyal. Even nowadays, when record sales are failing and people are still buying vinyls, buying heavy band vinyls, it's because it's very hard to relate to people when they don't understand what you're doing. So they're very grateful towards anything to do with it. If I'm talking to you about it, they're just happy for that. Yeah, and they have this outlet. And then I'm kind of rambling a little bit.
No, that works.
But you know what I mean. It's
interesting. It seems like, to go right along with that, it seems like they're a lot more authentic as well. In a lot of the pop genres, and most of their subgenres, you have to fit this certain image. You have to be this certain aesthetic. And it all is like, okay, how can I fit into this cookie cutter thing that will sell, as opposed to a lot of hardcore bands? Yes, there's obviously an aesthetic. I don't think anyone would argue against that.
They're just pissed. Exactly. They're just pissed. They're straight up mad.
It's true.
They don't have to do anything. Well, I mean, you'll get it. There's a lot of tryhards no matter what genre, but a lot of times in metal, people are very authentic to what it is, because you can't really write metal unless you have some type of feeling or have the chops, the blast beats, anything, a good vocalist, and it's hard to fake that. It's very hard.
Very hard to fake all of that. I mean, I've been in plenty of bands that have tried, and it's like painfully obvious the second they start practicing or put on a show. You're like, okay, no, all of that's fake. None of that was actually real. And then you get that one or two bands that are just super genuine, and like every single thing they're saying and writing is from a real place. It's super. You saw that flash too? Okay, cool. It wasn't just
place is haunted.
Oh, good to know. Man.
Very haunted. I've seen some crazy stuff.
Really? Like what?
Another time.
Okay.
Too scary for the average viewer. I don't want this to be rated R.
Oh, I'm so intrigued. After we're done recording, And so then you'll have those bands that are just so genuine. And when they're up there, you're watching them and you're just like, you can know that story, what they're talking about is so real to them. And there's that ability for the fan to connect with that artist in that way. I think the hardcore genre or anything with the metal is a great conduit for something like that. A lot more than pop or anything.
Yeah, it's mixed bag either way, however you look at it. But yeah, metal for me, I find that they're very kind, very nice to me, and not saying that the other isn't. And just in general, I've met a lot of really people that write some very angry music. You know, take a band like Body Snatcher. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but definitely check them out if you haven't. Angriest music. Just I went to a venue and I shot 2 videos for them. One was a video in the day, and then at night I shot one of their live shows and then another one, but live video. And people were murdering each other. If you look at the video, it's the most violent thing my camera's ever seen. I consider it like a wildlife documentary. And at the end of the show, all these kids just beat the shit out of each other. Like some unspeakable crowd killing mosh stuff. There's only like one fight. Everyone was, dapping up. Everyone had a great time. The people in Body Snatcher are sweethearts, as nice as it gets. Like so nice, but they're sitting here writing murder music. I think that's what they define themselves as, murder music. But absolute sweethearts. Yeah. Guys just texted me today. I was just so pumped.
That's hilarious. It's so funny how there is that dichotomy there. It's such a different thing, but it makes sense. If you really look at it, if you're not just judging it by the stereotype, it does make sense.
Having an outlet to express yourself it's a good thing. You're not going to go home and beat your wife or something because you're there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't,
but no, exactly.
But you know what I mean.
Exactly. Having that outlet is so necessary. And when you don't have that outlet, like there's so many
pents up inside, and you take it out on everything around you.
Everything.
That's why I feel bad for people that don't play musical instruments, or at the same time, I don't know, but I just feel bad for so many people that don't have an outlet, that don't have somewhere to put their energy. I'm very fortunate to be in such a nice place where I can still be a musician. No stress at all. Get it all out there, and then also have my video work where I can get a ton of energy out as well, and not really take anything out of my girlfriend. By the time I see her, I'm always in such a good mood.
Exactly. Having that outlet is so crucial. So I want to kind of transition and talk about the business aspect, because you are you are an entrepreneur.
Thanks.
Exactly. If you're working for yourself, like you've built a freaking business enough that this is your full-time job. Like you quit everything else. You're a music video director full-time.
Full-time as of 2016.
That is,
Nobody even knows that though.
3 years. That's crazy. How has that journey been like?
It was pretty easy switch because I was recording bands, and I went from, I was just like casually shooting video while doing records. So I was doing covers and like a couple studio videos. But I was just learning video very quickly. Like I was making more money doing video than I was audio. I have so much nice gear, universal audio, preamps, compressors, such nice gear. And then suddenly I'm making more doing video with a $5,000 investment. And I'm just like, are you serious? And so I started shooting more and more video. And then I got my camera in 2015. By the time 2016 hit, I was just like, done. No more acting, no more nothing. I'm only doing video. Any job that I do that isn't video related is only taken away. And I finished a couple of records that I had sitting around. But for the most part, I didn't take anything new on. I let go a couple older projects, sent them off. Some artists that still wanted to work with me, I sent to a couple local producers. And I just focused strictly on video, and I was able to do 200 music videos in a little over 4 years.
That's insane. Absurd. That is insane, because it's not just showing up with your iPhone. It's like you have a full lighting gear, you have a full production that you show up with.
Definitely a lot that goes into the videos, but I have a nice little workflow, and I feel really good, and I really enjoy editing. Editing's my favorite part by a long shot. So once the videos are shot, it's just cake to me. Like I could just be sitting around, just relaxing and editing a video. I edit my videos so quick too.
That's funny. That's funny. I feel like a lot of people, that's the one thing that's like the crux for a lot of people that they hate, is the editing. That's so interesting.
Polar opposite.
Why? What do you love about it?
I like editing because I like I don't want to say I'm an introvert because I'm not. I'm really not. But I like spending a lot of time by myself. I like being able to do things and screw around and have zero pressure and not be on camera. And, and just really just do whatever I want because that's when I find that I work best. You know, I'll go to the gym, I'll come back, I'll eat a 1,200 calorie meal, and then I'll just be amped, hyped, you know, and just edit and just feel so good and just screw around, do dumb things. And then by the time I give the edit over, they can't even believe that that's what happened because that's where I personally kill it. Shooting, on the other hand, I find takes a toll. While the other one might be relaxing, shooting, like here's an example. When I'm talking to my best friend Matei or my girlfriend, when I say I'm working, that means I'm shooting. So it's like, I got work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then a quick gig Tuesday. But in reality, I'm actually editing every single day. And shooting. But the editing I could do it 2 a.m. and feel good. Like I could do it in my perfect gym workflow, which you're actually catching me right now straight out of the gym. I didn't know I was going to be on camera.
Exactly.
Sorry,
I didn't tell him we were going on camera, so that's on me. Thank you for still agreeing for this.
No, thank you for driving almost 6 hours to be here. That's 100%. Incredible. I hope you enjoy the experience and the tour that I've given you so far and the words that I have to say.
100% worth it. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
You never know. I might screw this up from here now. This is only my second interview ever, so I don't really know how good I am at this.
Oh, that's funny. So what was your first interview?
I did another one. The regular Rhythm, I believe it was called.
Rhythm. Okay.
Yeah, one of the bands I work for, they have a podcast.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and like I told you before you reached out to me, it was actually one of my goals to do more podcasts because I feel like I almost feel like an entity. I feel like I'm Square Up Studios, but nobody knows who Eric is. No one knows me. Like that I'm actually the only person that works at Square Up Studios. Square Up Studios is just an alias, so that way I don't feel dumb making T-shirts. And I knew I was going to make T-shirts at the beginning, so
that's funny.
When I did Square Up Studios, it was that. It was originally supposed to be an audio video company, so that's where the studios came from.
Got you.
I scrapped that, but I always knew I wanted T-shirts, and I actually printed a batch of 100 about 2 years ago, but I just gave them all away.
Yeah.
I gave them all away. Now I
appreciate
sold them.
it.
Now no, these ones I don't give these away.
Okay, yeah. These are so high
only
quality.
Special people, VIP get these. But yeah, I gave away my whole original batch, and nowadays I actually have them up for sale on my website. And the first week sold very well, and I was very happy about that.
What's your website? Just if anyone wants one of these shirts, because they're freaking sick, super soft, great fit. Honestly, love this so much.
SquareUpStudios.com.
Okay, simple
my
enough.
Production company.
Easy. Okay. So what was your story behind Square Up Studios? You told us before I hit record, but I want for everyone else to hear the story behind this.
This one gets me every time, and it's just. So I never really thought Square Up Studios was like a cool name, but we used to always yell Square Up when we were recording bands. Like if a band would be arguing about, I don't know, a harmony or something, they would be like Square Up, Square Up. It was just like a dumb term. But had a giant party. Used to have quite a few parties. And we had a big Halloween party, and a big fight broke out. Like it was just a big ton of people we didn't know. So this crazy brawls breaking out. Everyone's fighting everyone. Our friends are fighting each other. But I don't even know why. Everyone's fighting.
You get in the mode. Everyone's going down.
I was even bigger than I am now too. Like at the time, and I was wearing a gown, a dress, and so you couldn't really tell that I was like a bigger dude.
Yeah.
So I noticed that one kid was like the start of it. Like who the hell is that kid? Yeah. And this one kid just like whenever the fight was like kind of like looking like all right, we could all go back to drinking and have a good night. This kid was just he was the fire, the catalyst. Yeah. So I grabbed the kid and I was like, you need to get the fuck out of here, whatever. And as he's walking out, it's just me and him. He and I told him on the last podcast I did about this. This is I can't actually describe how he punched me, but he went like this.
Oh, that's a weird motion. Okay, so for those listening, he just kind of leaned back and just kind of like threw his arm up.
Yep, and he rocked me right in the face.
Ow.
And, I was trying to help this kid. I wasn't really trying to, pick a fight. I was just trying to, salvage the party.
For real.
And as soon as he hit me, I put my hands up and I started walking away. I swear to God, this whole party and half of them are my clients. Like, they're all people I hang out with, party with, have almost got arrested for, done crazy things that are really... They're homies. They're homies. I'll see them on my birthday. I saw them when I officially made Square Up. And long story short, the whole party stopped. Everyone stopped fighting. No one could stop them before, but everybody stopped and charged this kid. and just beat the fuck out of this kid. Yeah. And I said this on the last podcast. I can't go into detail about how much crazier it got, but anybody that was there knows that's why it's called, I'm called Square Up Studios. Yeah. Keeping it PG-13. We'll keep the ghost story and the violence out of this particular recording. But yeah, it got very out of hand, and I've been going by Square Up Studios because all my homies will square up for me. Yeah. People that pay my bills will square up for me. They're the guys. They're the legends.
That's a hell of a feeling to know like you got an army at your back. Literally.
Yeah, and they're all just good people. Like I'm so fortunate to work with so many talented artists and people that appreciate what I do. And I beat myself up all the time as an artist, and they're just always there for me. And it's awesome. And everyone's always stepping up and really bringing the art to life. So there's just so many good elements in what I do. There's incredible locations, incredible people, incredible songs, incredible recordings, just people really making my life easy. That's how I'm able to do 200 videos in 4 years and 2 months. It's like people are making my life easier. People are giving their A game and just making my job amazing, making my life amazing, actually.
And I gotta say, I think the reason why so many people are attracted to you that have these great talents and so many opportunities are coming is because of something you said earlier. It's that idea that you are always striving to one up yourself. You're like, okay, yes, this video, this was shit about it. I'm going to change this. I'm going to work on this next. It's not this motivation for the money. It's this motivation because that's what you love and that's what you're passionate about, and you want to get better every single day, and you're starting to love your videos now, and that's incredible. And you have that personal self-drive to get better every single time. And because of that, so many people, I imagine, are around you being like, hey, this guy's getting better. This guy's already good. He doesn't see it, and he's getting better every single day. I want to be around him. And you end up building this whole community of like-minded, incredible people and bringing each other up.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. Yeah, that was very nice of you to say. And I think people would agree. The homies rep me, and they know that I'm pushing to get better. I'm funneling more than half of the money I make into my own gear. Yeah. I'm sacrificing so much to have like a red camera. Yeah. I'm shooting in 5K. I have hard drives just everywhere. I imagine. Just to do 1% a little higher quality than what people are used to or what I'm used to. And people are great, and that was very kind of you to say. And I think people would reciprocate pretty nicely to that.
100%. From seeing your videos and even just talking with you today, like absolutely not a doubt in my mind that's a huge aspect of why you have such a great community around you.
I think it's only going to grow. I think, me and everybody else, I think we're only just getting started. A lot of the local bands, the stuff they're sending me as of like last week, this week, everybody's just stepping up. And the people that don't want to be here, there's a door over there. They already went through it. They're out of here. I find myself that I think I'm just lucky. I don't know, like plus all that stuff. I think I'm just straight up lucky. I attract such straightforward people and people that have a vision and want to work with me or know how to bring out my strengths. And there's just so many, it's such a good community, and they're all close and they all refer. Like I only recently started advertising, which is the t-shirts. Yeah. But prior to that, I've never actually advertised. I've never done anything of the sorts. Everybody's just always had my back and just referred me and just told everybody of the experience and what they got, what they paid, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And it's just been very wonderful. And like I said, like 1,000 times, and I'll keep saying it, I'm so grateful to be surrounded by such talented artists, musicians, and everybody. 100%.
So you said like they know how to bring out the best in you and you bring out the best in them. That's such a crucial, I don't want to say entanglement, but I guess that works. That's such a crucial partnership. Is there anything in particular that you do that you think has helped that? Because I know it's very much case by case. But is there any like general rules that has helped that?
So how people would like bring the best out of me, or how I would bring out the best out of them?
We're going to actually tackle both. Yeah. So both individually.
I think when it comes to me, I'm very focused on the vibe of the day. Like most of my videos are shot in a day, so it's really about just focusing on, I guess you'd say, the 80-20. Yeah. Focusing on the bulk, the meat and the potatoes of everything, making sure that everything goes good, nobody's fighting, no bullshit, nothing. Yeah. Any problem that happens, we're straightforward. We nip that up right away. And we shoot very efficiently, very fun, very quick, usually people are very rehearsed. If not, I stop them very quickly and I pull them to the side, I talk to them, and it's very, it's a very easy day. The vibes, the workflow, everything's good. Everybody's feeling good. That's how you get the best out of me. You're not coming to set drunk as hell. You're not fighting each other, arguing about the littlest things. You're giving your input in a very blunt and honest manner. And I listen to everybody. I look everybody in the eyes when they tell me. But they're focusing on the better good of everything. No negativity, no bullshit, nothing. I actually have another shirt that says "No time for negativity." And it's just focusing on the good vibes, and that's how you get the best out of me. Just everybody just feeling good, bringing their A game, and just killing it, and treating it as professional as it is. I may be a very laid back person, but they treat everything for what it is. Yeah. And knowing that we're creating something good.
Yeah. Do you find that that's a problem when you work with like more local bands or regional bands? Do you think that's more? Have you found more of a problem, or has it been you've developed a really good roster?
No, I would say the past couple of years have been just the amount of respect I've received is just ridiculous, and I think that's a big difference between the audio and the video world. When I switched to the video world, people respect my work on such a whole other degree, and I think that's one of the things that makes me feel the best, knowing that there's so many people out there that not only like my work, but like are willing to appreciate the art and respect me and everything like that.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's more respect in the video than the audio?
There's just a lot more people that can do audio nowadays. That's why I left the audio world in the first place. There's a lot more home studios coming about and people that are just buying the Slate Everything bundle and some nice gear and just really just killing it. And that's great. I respect that a lot. But I had to get out of there. So video world, I don't really feel like you can just buy you can't just have my camera and then just create something incredible. What I create, I feel nobody, like you could try to replicate it, but just like I can't rip somebody else, you can't really replicate it the same way. I could steal your same drum samples, get the Will Putney STL tone, guitar tone, and MIDI bass, and Sturgis for gain reduction on vocals, and have the same tone as somebody else. But I feel like video, there's just so many elements and so many pieces to the puzzle that it's just, what I do is it's almost like a unicorn to people. Like people just don't get it. They're just like, whoa. And to me, it's just very systematic, straightforward, and fun and good time and vibes and good vibes. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say that's why. I think that's why there's more respect, because it's not as easy to replicate. You can't just buy it. You can't buy the sacrifices and the things that I've created. Like I can't go buy the camera above mine, the 8K version of the Red, and just think that I'm gonna be like Michael Bay. Can't buy the Michael Bay Red 8K camera and think that suddenly I'm gonna have explosions in the background. Yeah. And I get that. I respect Michael Bay. Shout out Michael Bay. Transformers are sick.
Oh, that's funny. Damn, yeah, that ties right back into the whole sacrifice thing. That's such a crucial part.
Damn, you like that shirt, man. Thank you.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You gotta send me a picture of this. I gotta post all everybody's pictures one day.
I will. This is honestly, there's a few shirts that I really, really dig. This one and this one from the band when I was in Texas, Meredith Crawford and the Backhand Band. Those two shirts are probably my favorite shirts I ever, other than my dress shirts, because I love my dress shirts. Other than that, these two are probably my favorite. Cool. Yeah, super soft, great feeling. I'm digging this so much.
I told you, man, you have the same body type as me. You're an endomorph, so this brings out the muscles. But then it also, like, it tapers.
It does. It does really well. Okay, so if that's how to bring the best out of you, how have you found work? What have you found works to bring the best out of your clients?
God, just respecting them, knowing that they're literally giving their life, not in all scenarios, but most of them, to be where they are. Yeah. That they're working a shit job. They've been shat on their entire life, most likely, to write these songs, and knowing that working with me is the chance that they're rolling the dice to possibly get their fair shot at the industry. And I look at them as the same way that they look at me, as just a very key component to their story. And I understand how much money these bands are paying me. I understand how hard they work to make this money. And I don't want to look these guys in the eyes and be like, you're shit, you're never gonna be shit. Like, go fuck yourself, give me your money. No, I want to know that these guys that are paying me are getting more than what they're paying for. I want them to know that I'm bringing them something unique, something special, that at the very least, they'll know that I worked as hard as I possibly could, given whatever circumstances we were in, to make the art that I'm being paid to do.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that. And I think a lot of the homies know that I've made some sacrifices
for sure
to make a lot of the videos I've done. You know, I've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So made some sacrifice. Do you mind if are you comfortable talking about some of these?
The easiest one on paper is that I was shooting a band and we were in the middle of the woods, like nothing nearby. Mm-hmm. Somehow a cop got to us.
Yeah.
And I worked out a deal with the cop that if he had to come back for a noise complaint, that he could arrest me on the spot, and he let us film. Like stuff like that. You know, that's like, you know,
that's taking a bullet for your boys.
And that's a real story. If the people from that video know that was like because when a cop comes up, everyone's just like,
yeah. I've gotten shut down by a cop for noise complaints so many times.
And now I went up to that cop and I was like, listen, man, like, you see this, we're not fucking around, like
100%.
I was like, this is the band, this is us, this is me, like, we'll turn it down, you won't come back, knowing that we're in the middle of the woods. Like, are you serious, dude?
Yeah, like, serious.
Like, what the fuck? No, but with that said, I didn't say that. But
that's funny.
I was like, yeah, if you have to do it. So I muted everything up, and then I was just shitting bricks for the rest of the shoot. But I finished the shoot, and it came out sick. Got over 100,000 views on YouTube, 100,000 on YouTube and 1 million on Facebook, and that video is sick for its time.
Damn. What video is that? I'm gonna check this one out.
That's also the homies in Monument of Memory called Hold Fast.
Hold Fast. Okay, sick.
It was a rain video. I mentioned it earlier. Actually.
Yeah. That's the rain one as well. Damn.
Yeah, it's the same. I love mentioning that one because it's just those guys. You know, they're good friends of mine, to say the least. And their bass player Josh, I just got in one of my big videos recently. So depending when this comes out, when do you think this will be out?
End of October.
So probably like right before this video comes out. Mm-hmm. Josh will have made one of his debuts in one of my videos as like an actor.
That's hilarious.
He's gonna be pumped too if you find him.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, I'll look him up. It's so interesting how one thing that I absolutely loved and do love about the music industry is it's a bunch of homeboys. It's you and your bros. You're out there. Everyone is doing what they love. Everyone has that passion, that drive. And it's everyone just looking out for each other.
It's a community. And if you don't respect the community and you don't respect the game for what it is, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, and you can make it, but you're fighting an uphill battle. But if you do it with your homies, you're all going to grow together and bring each other up. And then the people that want to fight the scene and fight the game and don't respect it because of whatever reasons, more power to you. But like, it's going to be a little rough. You have to have homies.
Yeah.
And I may shoot most of my videos pretty much by myself. Sometimes I get my friend James and my friend Matei, but for the most part by myself. I shoot very small crews, but you know, I know that I have people who have my back,
100%.
And I know that you have to have a strong team to do anything. And I'll never attack that.
Yeah. That's what I love about the music industry in specific. Interesting. So one thing I find really interesting is, as a musician, if you want to survive as a musician, and I want to see if this applied to you as from going from like a recording engineer, transitioning into a music video director, having multiple streams of income. I know you said you quit everything when you went full-time for music video director, but then you also have like a website, so you sell your t-shirts. How has that played out for you over the years?
It's a double-edged sword. I think at first you can't be too picky. Like if you're starting off as a director, you have a camera, you shot a couple of videos, blah, 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 blah. You kind of know what you're doing. You can't be too picky. You have to take what you can get, and you have to work, and you have to do, I don't know, the bands you really don't like, the wedding videos, whatever. You have to just do everything you possibly can get, and just, you have to hustle.
Yeah.
But I think there comes a point where that starts to be the double-edged sword, the sword flips over, and it's cutting you now. There's a point where you have to focus more on certain types of people, certain types of bands. Like I'm in that now. I work with a pretty big niche, but I definitely do work with a niche. Like I focus more on a certain feeling and a certain looks and certain edginess. And I don't actually have a lot of sources of income. I've actually put all my cards on red. Yeah, I have the t-shirts because I have to promote, but that's still promoting for the music videos.
Yeah.
And I don't really make a ton off of that. I made a good amount of money the first week, but that was
Yeah.
That's not my main source of income by any means. And I actually think there's a point where you really have to focus on what you're passionate about. And that's it. You have to focus on what you're passionate about, and then you could expand. I think.
Interesting.
I think it will come full circle, but I have made more money by focusing on my community and people that respect my work as opposed to trying to get people that don't respect my work. If that makes sense.
It does. So to kind of expound on that, to make sure I heard that right. So it's you start off,
take what you can get,
take exactly everything that you can get
as much experience as you can, get shat on all day, get disrespected, have your camera blow up, get robbed, whatever, all that stuff, and then really focus on what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what you love, what you could do for the rest of your goddamn life. Be happy, go home, see your wife, everything, all that, and focus on that. And then once that's settled and you have a niche, it's the keyword niche, then you could, I don't know, open a restaurant. You could open
and then go from there.
Do whatever you want. You could invest in Bitcoins. I don't know. But you have your main source.
Yeah.
And I think finding what you were happy with, your number one, your key, your meat and potatoes is very important.
Do you think a lot of people have that same perspective in your industry?
Probably not, actually. I think a lot of guys really, they figure out what they like to do, and then they just do whatever they can and just put a part of themselves into it. And I think there's just a point where there's respect. But at the same time, I don't know, I think I'm kind of an anomaly because I do something very niche-y. I do aggressive music videos.
So what do you think developed your perspective on this?
I think what I do, it comes from my passion for heavy music and aggressive styles in general. I think it's very based off of where I started, which was being a drummer. I think my videos are very percussive in nature. Drummers tend to like my videos because I cut to the beat. So true. So true. It's very common. Yeah. And I'm more of a musician than anything. I never imagined myself as a filmmaker. I'm a drummer. I'm a musician. I'm an artist, and I just happen to do video as well. And then that expands. And I think that's a big part of that.
Interesting. Okay, that's really sick. That's a really sick way to look at it. Dang. So do you think that your transition from being a recording engineer, do you think that has had much, the interactions you had with the bands there, do you think that's played over well or played over much with being a, I was going to say videographer, being a music video director?
Well, a lot of my early videos, like I said, were all
while you were
I started off on a lot of my audio clients, and those are friendships that I'm just gonna have for the rest of my life. A dude like Zachary Howard, he plays in a band called Oceans of Illusions. It's gonna be my homie for the rest of my goddamn life. That's my dude right there, and he's gonna be pushing my name. I'm probably gonna be shooting his band for forever, whatever. And a lot of those dudes, they taught me they got me going. They got me in the scene. They spread their band and my name very positively, and I'm very grateful to those early clients, and they all know it. There's no doubt about that. So I'm forever grateful for being an audio engineer, even if I sucked, whatever, I don't know. But
have you listened back to some of your stuff when you?
I haven't done anything. I just focusing on video.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been shooting videos all week. I haven't looked at anything else.
That's funny. That's fair.
I haven't even seen my girlfriend since Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bummer.
Dang. Yeah.
But yeah.
So why do you do what you do? That's something I always find very interesting, because in the arts community, because everyone has a very unique reason, very particular reason to themselves as to why that's their passion.
This has always been a hard question. It's a very hard question, and I've kind of got the answer now, and it's much. Ever since I've done the t-shirts and even the last podcast I did, I've got the answer a little better. And I actually kind of answered this today, but I want to look my homies in the eyes, and I want them to know that I'm giving them everything I possibly can. I'm giving them their shot that nobody else would give them. There's so many people that put metal musicians down in society, and even musicians in general, that just crush their dreams, and that's not going to be me. That's one of my big motives. It's the dude that's recording in a shed. It's the dude that's sleeping in a van just to save up money to record their record, to get their merch, to do all that stuff. That's the dude I picture, And that's why I want to get better. I want his freaking band, both the two guys in my head right now, I want both their bands to freaking blow up like right now. And I know that I can play a key role to that. And I just want to do everything I can for them. Like, I'm not going to take this dude's 40 hours that he got working at I don't know, Domino's, I forgot, Guitar Center, I don't know. And just take that and just like be like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And then call it a day. No, I'm going to work hard, and I want to see him blow up. And I want to see that middle class become a thing. I want there to be a huge gray area between local bands and that are blowing up on the internet and signed bands that are still pushing their old stuff. I want that. I see this band just right in the middle, and you can't tell if they're local or if they're big.
It is one of those things where it is getting more and more difficult to tell where someone stands, how local, how regional, with the internet and with social media.
And the internet has created a job for me. It has given my position the power that it has. It's like, you can do a video with me and never have played a show and then get signed. Happened in 3 or 4 of my bands now.
That's crazy.
Never played a show, and they've been signed. Multiple music videos with me. One of them has like 60,000 views already. Like,
yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. Do you think enough musicians are capitalizing on the fact that you can do so much with the internet and with social media?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think everybody knows that music videos and the internet are important and content. Everybody knows that. I think you'd have to be like 80 to not know that. You'd have to be just trying to figure out Facebook now.
Yeah, for real.
But I don't think people realize that, and this isn't to discredit anybody, but I think doing 3 music videos is a lot stronger than a week tour where you play to 2 people at each show and you die. And you're eating McDonald's twice a day for your calories. And I think people, they don't realize that they should have spent that money blowing up on the internet and having a fan base before touring a lot of these markets. And I think that's something that people understand but don't understand.
It's one of those things that it's like, oh yeah, that's talked about. People can do that, but I don't think I can. But in reality,
not tour, bro. No, we're going on tour.
Exactly. So it's so funny because there's so many bands that think like, oh yeah, I just really like a local or regional band. Like, I just released an album. We need to go tour this thing. And it's like, okay, that's great. You're local. How is anyone else going to know about that?
And I don't discredit live shows.
Yeah.
Like, I think having a strong live performance is the key to getting to the next level after that.
Yeah.
Like, if you blow up online, you're only going to go so far if your live band, if you suck live. Nobody wants to see you. No one cares about you. Your shit band.
Yeah. It's true.
So it's important to have the live show, but having the foundation of social media and video and content and promos and merch and all that stuff is definitely up there in the importance level.
So having that as a foundation, do you think that's more important than having like, so you say you do say that's more important than having a live show. Do you think having...
To start, but you need the live show. The live show is what's going to bring... The performance part is what's going to reflect in the videos, because if your performance sucks, I can only do so much for you, A.
That's fair.
And
that's
B,
fair.
And B, your band's never going to go anywhere. I mean, I don't know. There's bands like Infinite Annihilator that blow up online and they do ridiculous music videos and they're huge and they make more money than a lot of people. So I don't know. It's just whatever you make work, but
it's so interesting though, speaking about making money, because so there's this band, Bless the Fall.
Yep.
I met them, God, I want to say 2013, 2014, probably 2014, right around that time. They were really great guys. Signed, doing this whole big long tour. I went to a bunch of their shows, and I was talking with them one night. We were hanging out at a campfire, just talking, and they were like, do you know how much we make? And I was like, no, you guys are signed. You're like international. That has to be a ton. They're like, no, we make $20 a day.
That sucks.
Exactly.
They're a great band, dude. I still watch that music video that they had from Hey Baby, whatever that was.
Oh, they are incredible musicians. Really great guys. They make shit money. And that's, I think, one of the things, like in the music industry, you can do so much online. Like,
so let me give you a flip side to that, though. I think this will be interesting. I shot 3 videos for Attila, and we went to Orlando, Florida. I flew out there, and they're an unsigned band. They had like a room, which it's a little bigger than this.
Okay.
But they have like a room, and then there's like a storage area, and they had all their CDs, all their merch, all their stuff, all their spreadsheets was all there. and they knew exactly how much money they're making. They're slinging their own things. They were packing their own stuff. And this is Attila. Keep in mind, they're big.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Oh, they're huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
And they're out there, documenting how much they spend on the road, everything. They're being so smart.
I love this.
Meanwhile, like everyone thinks they're party animals and crazy people, but they're not. They're sweethearts. They're nice. They're dudes in the metal world that actually make money.
Yeah.
And they're unsigned and they're slinging so much money just by signing their own CDs and packing them. And there's two guys that they run a record label too. Franz, who's the singer of Attila, and then this guy Mike Milford, who's the freaking man. He's the godfather of metalcore that nobody knows about. But they have their record label there as well, and it was just so amazing seeing how they ran it themselves as a big band with their 2 Stay Sick employees, or 3, 2. No, I would say 2.
That's funny.
And that's the opposite. They're just a machine. They make good money for a reason.
Yeah.
The singer's driving nice cars for a reason.
Exactly. Like, it is a business. As much as you love it and as passionate as you are.
And they have multiple sources of income as well too. Like, they pretty much all have clothing lines or 2 of them.
Wow.
And
doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and they're all just so smart. They all do features. They all record their own music. Like, just smart band. And it's the polar opposite. Like, I understand you get screwed by labels, but they've been getting, I'm sure, screwed or something by labels. I don't know their story, but to run everything themselves and run such a tight ship, and then hire somebody like me to shoot their videos and not pay $30,000 a video. Pay significantly less, worlds less. And they hired me for 3.
Dang.
And it's like, it's just so smart because it's their money now. It's like, they're like, oh, well, we'll just pay him, just take a stack of money.
Exactly. And like, it is a whole business, and that's so difficult for people, I think, for a lot of people to understand. And it was for me when I was when I was very involved in the music scene. It was all about the passion, but it is so much about the business if you want to survive.
And I've always understood that. Like, when I was in bands, or one band in particular that I really tried my hardest, I thought that's where I'd be now. I thought I'd be in the van like everybody else. I was always the guy that managed the band. I was the one who got us the shows. I would sell the 75 tickets to open up for Motionless in White, play the chicken joints, whatever it was. This is all like 10 years ago. And I was the guy that always did all the back end shit that sucked. And I think that gave me a backbone going down the line, because when that failed, that's when I started acting and trying to start my own band and start my studio. And then when the studio failed, then I got here now, and I just took it all. It was just like one big package.
That's funny. So you're talking about all these different I want to say progressions. You said failure. I don't necessarily want to say fail, but these different progressions and how you tried something and that didn't work. You tried another thing that didn't work. You tried another thing, you realized that wasn't what you wanted to do. How important was that progression to you?
Well, as they say, failure is a chapter. It was a very crucial part to the book. I needed to fall on my face for 5 years until I realized I was a dumb shit and I had to get my shit together.
Yep.
Harsh reality, but true.
It's so
I'm
harsh,
still
but
falling
so
on my
true.
face. I think we trying to film in this spot. We had to move like twice.
Exactly.
You're just gonna screw up all the time, and it's just how you handle the problems and how you handle adversity will dictate how far you can go in any given thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, my job sometimes feels like I'm troubleshooting. I'm a IT or whatever you call it. I'm constantly troubleshooting, and that's what dictates what'll keep me going. When someone if Starbucks messed up my order, I'm not gonna sit there and freak out. I'm gonna wait the extra minute and then thank them for fixing their problem. I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna take it out on anybody around me. I'm gonna troubleshoot the problem, and that's what's gonna keep me moving forward. And that's one of the most important things in any industry. How you handle adversity.
That's fantastic. So because people aren't born with that perspective, and I know countless people who don't have that perspective. So how did you personally develop that?
By getting shat on my entire life. Yeah.
That's it. Simple, beautiful, relatable answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I was never a cool kid per se. I remember what it was like to be at a cafeteria table by myself with no friends and
100%.
and all, and just learn to appreciate things for what they were. I didn't go to the best middle school. Got beat up in the bathrooms, stuff like that. And it really gave me perspective on what mattered and what didn't matter. So by the time I got to high school and I was in a band, I felt like nothing was going to bother me.
Yeah.
And then I just kept getting, things kept going wrong. I kept doing things wrong, and I grew from it, kept turning the chapter. Hopefully someday I write a book. Who knows?
For real. For real. You have some really interesting perspectives and a lot of wisdom for a lot of people in this area, in being in the music video director and music industry, that a lot of people don't know.
Thank you. I feel like I'm just getting started, to be honest, though.
Yeah, that's funny. Cheers. Well done. It is starting to pour out there, and I got like a 6-hour drive home, so I am gonna call this. Dude, this has been a freaking pleasure.
Cool. Thank you.
Stoked that you could that you made the like drive out here and got to show me around here. It's gorgeous.
Yet again, I'm sorry that I'm in my gym clothes. But
don't worry. And thank you for this. Y'all go check this out. Where can they find this again?
squareupstudios.com, and you can find all my work on there too.
100%. Y'all go check that out.